This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. I'm at the 2012 Forrester Customer Intelligence Forum. I'm with Mark Smith from Pitney Bowes. Hello, Mark.
Hi there, Mark.
Can you tell us a little bit about Pitney Bowes and what you do for the company?
Sure. So I'm the general manager for one of the lines of business within Pitney Bowes software. I look after all of our solutions in the customer analytics and customer interaction area. Pitney Bowes is obviously a long-time player in the customer communications space. We have for 100 years helped businesses communicate with their customers through traditional mail. The postage, mailing meters, and printing machines is what Pitney Bowes is famous for. But as this marketplace has changed, and organizations need to communicate on other channels with their customers, not just through the mail, Pitney Bowes has kind of changed with that market, and we now have quite a sizable software division that helps companies do all sorts of communication with their customers.
Great. What will be the biggest opportunity for marketers in the next 3 to 5 years?
So I think marketing is becoming a real driving force for growth of business within large organizations and even medium-sized and small companies as well. And marketing is getting ever closer to understanding the dynamics of the customer and understanding the dynamics of business. Marketing is becoming a more and more important element for driving growth within a business, because it's marketing that's starting to understand the customer and starting to figure out the right ways of communicating with customers and the right ways of getting customers to stay loyal for longer to an organization, and that grows the value of that customer to the organization.
Great. Loyalty Management believes that this is the best time to be a CMO. It is also the most challenging time to be a CMO. Do you agree? And what advice could you give a CMO in today's challenging economic environment?
Yeah, so I do agree. I think it is an incredibly exciting time to be a CMO, as a CMO is getting to be a more critical part of driving businesses forward. It's challenging because there's a real shortage of skills in this marketplace. There's a real shortage of marketers that can actually be comfortable handling masses of data on their customers and can interpret that data in the right way. And that's why this forum is such a big event. There's a lot of interest in customer intelligence and how to get that intelligence to drive success within a business. But there's a real shortage out here in the marketplace. So my advice to CMOs is, not try and do everything perfect. Get going with what you've got. Get some core skills and give them time to work with data and to understand customers and start building strategies to improve the way you as a business deal with your customer.
Great. In engagement, perception is everything, and loyalty is a culmination of a series of effective engagements and those experiences. How do brands effectively engage individuals in this diverse and data-rich ecosphere?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, they don't. They don't do a good job of that yet. And we all know that, because we're all consumers. And we all know that the way our banks communicate with us and our utility and phone companies communicate with us is disjointed. And there's a huge opportunity for businesses to create a massively better experience for their customers by connecting all those different communications together. And that's this huge opportunity in this market. If we can have our emails matching what's on our website, matching what happens when you walk into a store or a branch, matching what happens when you call a customer helpline, and the messages that a customer gets on all of those touch points are connected and consistent and follow a logical train, that's going to make a huge impact on the experience for the customer. That will drive loyalty, and that will drive kind of growth in the business. Now, there's a long way to go. Everybody kind of knows they should be there, and there are technologies around to help businesses do this, but we're at the start of, very much at the start of that market opportunity as organizations start to kind of connect channels together.
All right, thank you. Does your technology use its design to evoke the senses to shape and steer meaningful and desired experiences for the products and the brands you represent?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question, and it kind of connects back to this shortage of skills in the marketplace. And so a big thing for us in the design of our products, and it's a great example is a new product we've just launched called Explorer. And that's all about putting the tools that are, giving marketers tools that are very familiar to them from their day-to-day private life, giving them those same kind of experience, that same kind of smartphone, tablet kind of experience that we have at home. Let's put that on the work desk, workstation, so that marketers can actually have tools that are easy to use, very, very familiar, and that kind of helps with the skill shortage that we've got in the marketplace, because it becomes much more accessible to those marketers to be able to use easy analytic tools to understand the customer.
Good points. At Loyalty 360, we believe in a process of expectation matching. We believe that a consumer's expectation changes based on their engagement with the brand and what life cycle or life stage they be in. Brands struggle with this idea and struggle more with putting it into process. Can you give some advice to marketers about how to effectively do that to reach the consumers?
Yeah, well, I think that's a great point, and I think it all comes down to understanding the journey that your customer is on, and it's all about this maybe overused phrase of customer centricity. Businesses have to kind of see things from the customer's perspective, and marketers need to map out what this experience is like for the customer and understand how a customer, so as a marketer changes offers, changes websites, changes materials that they're putting out to the customer, or as they change scripts that get used in a call center, you've got to map out what those changes will feel like to the customer. And too often marketers only think about it from their own perspective, and it's about what this company is going to do and what we're going to kind of push out. And looking at it the other way and mapping out a journey from the customer's perspective can help build an experience for the customer that's going to grow that loyalty.
One quick question as a follow-up. You mentioned push-based marketing, and that's something we see a lot at Loyalty 360 as well. There's a unique dichotomy in CMOs who are traditionally push-focused, where they think that they know best what's for the market, for their brands, for their process, but yet struggle with the ability to really pull people in and understand their preferences. Can you give any advice for marketers who may be struggling with the transition from push to true voice of the customer, pull-based marketing?
Yeah, well, I think the key is you've got to do both. The key is you've got to connect your push with your pull, your inbound with your outbound. And we talk at Pitney Bowes Software a lot about inbound, outbound fusion, so that as a marketer you plan this two-way communication with the customer. It's not all about you sending stuff to them, and it's not all about them coming on your website. It's about how do you choreograph a journey through those different touch points, that sometimes you're contacting the customer and giving them information, and then you need to be ready for them to come back to you asking questions, triggering then the next communication that goes from you. And it's connecting the inbound and the outbound is one of the kind of key building blocks of really building a good experience for the customer, and that is the kind of thing that grows the loyalty within the customer base.
Great. Mark, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us today.
Pleasure, Mark. Thank you.